We'll resume our golf coverage tonight on the All Sports Report, but right now I'd like to welcome former St. Augustine head coach and now SDSU secondary coach Richard Sanchez to the Sports Rail. Coach, long time no chat.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing this. I know you said once the paperwork was done, you do it, and man, you're a man of your word.
Yep, glad to be here.
9 years at one of the best jobs in the county, and you're joining Rocky Long's staff. Tell us a little bit about how this all came to be.
Coach Long knew I eventually wanted to get back in the college ranks, and so when he reached out, I jumped at the opportunity. And when I got the phone call, I had to talk to my family. My son was there when I received the phone call, so I spoke to him first, and he gave me the thumbs up and said, "Dad, follow your dreams." And obviously talked to my wife and my daughter as well. So.
You have a unique twist on it. You have a kid who plays, he's going to be a freshman at St. Augustine.
He's a freshman.
So he's going to be a sophomore.
Yeah.
A lot of dads would want to stick around. And, Coach, you had an interesting perspective on it that maybe it's better for him that you not coach the Saints.
Yeah, I think I want to be his #1 fan instead of being his coach, because then you always have to act like his coach. And although I'll still be there when he reaches out to me and talk about the game of football, but I'd rather be his #1 fan than coach him up and just sort of give him some more independence.
So 9 years. Let's face it, there's a handful of jobs. I mean, St. Augustine is one of the best jobs in the county.
It's the best job, absolutely.
Wow,
yeah.
I'm sure. I know you. A lot of people think that.
Yeah.
How tough was that call to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this for me"?
Well, after discussing with my family, the toughest part is looking in the eyes of my coaches, and that's the first thing I did. And we did a round table at the house and discussed it. And my biggest key, over 9 years, loyalty, and I have an unbelievable staff, and they did a tremendous job for me. But telling the players on that Friday morning, obviously a heart-clenching event for me, and tear-jerking, and I think I wept for about 30 minutes after that meeting, and getting and receiving a lot of hugs from my players.
Is that the toughest team meeting you've had?
Absolutely, without a doubt, yeah.
Nah, it's part of the game, though, Such is life. Have you thrown your name behind anybody as to be your successor there?
We spoke about it, a couple of names that came across the desk, but I'm just trying to separate myself from that situation, and I'm sure they're going to make the right choice. So
now your new boss, instead of from being the boss, you now work for this guy out. Listen, we love Rocky Long around here. We call it Tuesdays with Rocky. We put a montage together of our famous Coach Long moments, and then we're going to have you add to it. Roll Rocky Long.
Since they were little tiny kids playing Little League football, they take breaks at halftime where they go sit on the sidelines for 20 minutes and they eat oranges and drink pop.
Last time you were ranked, you did not play your best game.
I was waiting for that to be brought up. The weather was terrible, and we have Southern California kids on our team that were freezing. In fact, the coaches were freezing. I'm soft as heck, too, because I live here.
What's going to be like to work for this guy?
Oh, it's a blessing in disguise, I tell you what. It's always wanted to get back to the Mesa. I did my grad work there under Ted Toner years back, so I'm excited to get back and to work for a man like that. Have very similar philosophies.
So it's the 3-3-5. You're the 5, basically. As a secondary coach, you're his third level of defense. I assume you have a working knowledge of the defense, but you need to have a PhD's knowledge of the defense, do you not?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, the 5 guys back there, I'm indicated with all the different film and techniques and the schematics part of it. But over the last 7 days working and watching film with this, Coach Long is amazing, and the details is incredible. So I'm picking it up rather quickly.
What just in a phrase or two, what's that philosophy of the defense? To have put people in different places all the time?
It's pretty simple. He made it clear to our first team meeting. It makes sure you know what to do and how to do it. Number 2, he wants 11 guys to the football with bad humor. Yeah. And keep them out of the blinking F end zone.
Yeah,
so that's exactly what he said.
Simple as that.
Keep them out of the end zone.
What's going to be the toughest part of the transition?
For me, the time is pretty simple because I'm used to hard work and the hours part of it, but not controlling my schedule and dropping my son off to school, those kinds of things out of my control. So I think just getting used to that and adjusting.
You've seen the recruiting end of things. Now, you've been a college coach, so you're aware of what it's like to go into somebody's living room. But for 9 years, you've been on the prep side of the whole recruiting process. How tough is it? How's that going to help you, or how's it going to hurt you on the college side of the?
First off, I got to continue to watch more recruiting tape to see exactly the type of player we're looking for. We're trying to get players at high school level and trying to develop them at such a young age. You make the good players better and the better players great. We're going to get great players at San Diego State, so getting them to the next level, I think, is the first thing that I have to adjust to. But in regards to recruiting, I recruit San Diego, so that's in my hometown and looking forward to it. We have great coaches here in town and looking forward to getting out there and talking about the recruiting process.
People are going to know who you are, but still you're going to have to sit in that. Do you recruit mom, or do you recruit the kid, or do you recruit both?
The whole family, absolutely. It's a family event.
So you recruit me. What's that going to be like?
Well, you got to have the right attitude, first of all. You got to be physically and mentally tough. So if we can see that and talk to the coaches and get the feedback necessary to put them on that list, and then from there you take them to the position coach and have them evaluated. But obviously the talent is key too.
So you're not going to just recruit defensive backs. You're going to recruit anybody in San Diego.
Absolutely.
And then you bring in the line coach.
Yeah, yeah.
So the hardest thing is to be recruiting linebackers, because Rocky Long has a penchant for linebackers, right? I mean, you can't whiff there.
Right, right. I mean, we have a great staff at San Diego State too, so they do their due diligence to making sure we get the right players.
Well, one of the cool things about you is you're going to go one of those 5 guys back there you know really well, and Tariq. How did he react to the news?
Not sure. I mean, I'm assuming he was kind of disappointed that he got my crazy self back and coaching him up. Now he knows he's not getting away with anything, not like he did before I got there. But I'm sure he's excited. I think the parents are a little more excited than he was, but it's a little bit different in the room for him. But what a tremendous athlete. I mean, the things that he's accomplished as a true freshman is remarkable, particularly when I'm watching film every morning.
You're in the PPR Hall of Coaching Fame because of this graphic we're going to throw up. You are one of 3 coaches that have, in our 20 years on the air, that have coached both a Player of the Year in the Silver Pigskin winner and Iron Hog recipient. Coaches Joyner and Starr, the other 2. It's no surprise that Preston and Michael Alves, they both played together. They kind of helped each other out, did they not, in that magical year of yours?
Right. What a great list of coaches you have there, but it's a lot easier when they have talent and they coach talent, but those guys came with talent, and obviously they performed well.
What do great players have in common?
The mental toughness part of it. Now, they understand the hard work, the ethic that goes behind taking their potential and getting better every single day, and their leadership.
And from your perspective, how has the high school coaching job changed? It's gotten more difficult, has it not?
Yeah, I think
with social media and whatnot.
Right. I think high school coaches need to be more of a salesman now than ever before. But the players haven't changed. The way we're raising our kids has changed a little bit. Very difficult to develop leadership. There are too many play dates going on out there in our society right now because of the dangers that are involved. But the kids need to get out and understand how to communicate with each other. And it's very difficult to see them at a young age develop relationships. And in order to be a good leader, that's what you have to do.
Kids haven't changed. Have parents changed?
Absolutely. You have to. I mean, because our society, we live in the dangers that are out there. So you have them right there next to your hip. In my days, and I'm sure in your days, you just go out to the park and you play games and come back before dark. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah. We put together a montage of what we considered great St. Augusta moments. If you had to put your finger on the greatest moment in Saints history from your 9-year tenure, what would you... Anytime beating Cathedral?
Every time beating Cathedral. It didn't happen too often, but when it did, it was definitely a celebratory event. Obviously, the couple of championships that we did have with Jacob Baker's touchdown in the corner of the end zone on the last play of the game against Madison. But watching Royce Freeman come to town and the stadium packed, everybody to see Royce Freeman beat us down, and we ended up beating him pretty good. So
I was there.
A lot of people were there. It was a great night. Yeah.
One cool thing about you is when you guys play, there's a crowd. I mean, I don't care if it's against St. Augusta. We saw that video. Do we keep rolling that? That Royce Freeman, there he is. He had a 120-yard night, but the scoreboard said St. Augusta.
Frank the Tank Bunkum kept him out of the end zone the whole night, so that was a blessing to have a kid like that on the roof and tracking him everywhere he went.
How good a professional athlete is he going to be?
Oh, he's so physical and fast and knows how to put his pads down.
That's why I couldn't believe he didn't want to play in the bowl game. How's he going to get hurt?
Right, he is amazing. Yeah.
Future of prep football, are you bullish or bearish?
I think I'm bullish. I think it's going to be fine. Our numbers didn't dwindle too much at Saints. But again, I think the education part, particularly the concussions, and education not just with the parents, but with the players, with the return to play protocol that's in place for all high schools now, and make sure that it's getting followed through. and the players, they need to understand what they're going through at the time of getting dinged in the head and how to respond the right way, because if they're just trying to be brave and get back out there, then obviously they're putting themselves at risk.
Now, as a college coach, does your opinion of passing camps change?
No, when you're playing with your own team, it don't change.
Coach Sanchez, here's a quick look at what we have coming your way tonight on the ASR. 6 stops. We'll see you at 10:45. On behalf of Coach Sanchez, my name is Rudy. This interview is over. Back to my esteemed colleagues on the news desk.